Why do you have so much tendonitis now that you're in the menopause transition? Because isn't it all just about how you load the tendon? So tendons are designed to take a tensile load, but if the load is too great, failure happens. Excessive load can cause tendinopathy. That can be overuse over a long period of time, or it could be acute, which is like you ran one day and now you have tendonitis. And these changes result in a change in the extracellular matrix. And as that happens, there is a whole chemistry situation that's happening in that painful area. There's a breakdown of the collagen structure and there's lots of biological changes. Now remember, estrogen helps us broker inflammation, and estrogen also helps us with our collagen and remodeling. So yes, you are chemically more at risk to get tendonitis in the perimenopause, menopause, your hormone declining situation. But I also think because of the body recomposition issues, since you have less muscle bulk than you used to, you don't also control the joint as well, and you are more likely to have an increased load on that tendon. So it's a multifactorial thing. So if you're still watching, get nerdy with me. Let's talk more about your tendons. And this is going to help explain why you have to do all the things you have to do now to be normal. Tendons have a very highly organized fibril matrix, consisting of a type 1 collagen and a lot of other different little collagens, proteoglycans, glycoproteins. They are a chemical soup. Now the worker bee is the tenocyte. The tenocyte is the kind of big deal. And the tenocyte, like the house mom, is keeping everything remodeling through the continuous process of matrix remodeling, the turnover rate, and at various tissue sites. This little blob, let's just say this is the little tenocyte. So if the house mom can't keep it together and the tenocyte can't keep it up, a change in remodeling activity, well, then you get tendinopathy. Then there's a molecule change where there's an expression, increased type 3 collagen versus the type 1, the fibronectin. There's all sorts of garbage happening. So the repeated strain is thought to be a major factor in tendinopathy, although, well, mechanical overstimulation is part of it, but it could also be understimulation that leads to change in the tenocyte activity. So if you're not moving around and keeping your tendons healthy, that's a problem too. But wait, there's more. Your estrogen declining also changes the tendon and how it ages. So yes, there is a natural age decline with tendons, but when your hormones drop, that's even more. Due to a decrease in collagen synthesis, there is an increase in free radical expression and metabolism imbalance in favor of catabolic activity. Think osteoporosis. The cat is tearing down versus the bee, build, the osteoblast. So a postmenopausal female is much more catabolic than her teenage counterpart. It's suggested that females' level of estrogen, which decreases drastically in the postmenopausal period, plays a crucial role in influencing tendon metabolism and altering the production of different growth factors. In a recent study by Abate et al., it was observed that in postmenopausal women, there is a dramatic increase in asymptomatic rotator cuff tears and that there is a higher prevalence linked to other metabolic factors like HDL, fasting glucose, and body mass index. Do you know when you are in the menopause transition, your HDL gets all crazy and your estrogen isn't able to manage your glucose as well and you gain more body weight and more fat? So do you see how that is tied to hormones? And they get even worse as your hormones decline. So now I'm going to tell you that there are estrogen receptors in your tenocytes. So your tenocytes, the house mom that takes care of the tendon, already is getting tired because they're getting older and there's increased cross-linking and it doesn't turn over as well. And then you're going to take estrogen out, and then what happens? With reduction in tensile strength, so it's not as strong, decrease in collagen synthesis, so the house mom's not doing their job, fiber diameter becomes wussy, density and increased degradation in tendon tissue. We're basically dry rotting. In another study, they found that different tendons have different responses to estrogen and a tendon-specific action of sex hormones, which I find fascinating, and it makes perfect sense. So they're looking at like the Achilles tendon versus patellar tendon might respond differently to hormones. So yes, hormones are very important, but it's different with younger women versus older women. This is why we need to know where women are in the whole spectrum. Now, in this study, the contestants were taking an oral estrogen. So the postmenopausal women that took HRT were taking oral estrogen in this particular study, and they found with the oral estrogen a negative correlation between tendon strength and HRT use following one-legged resistance exercise related to an increased collagen turnover with higher immature collagen cross-linking. The discrepancy could be partially explained by the observation that oral estrogen replacement influences liver metabolism. Specifically, oral administration may reduce circulating levels of insulin-like growth factor and 1, and interleukin 6 that are involved in collagen synthesis during physical activity. So what I hear it saying is, in this particular very limited study, is the estrogen patch might be better for our tendons than the oral. Now listen, this is just a far stretch for me to say, but I just think it's interesting. Eccentric strength still works for the ladies. And this is why doing 10 minutes of mobility a day and weightlifting 3 times a week is very important for your joint health. We have to keep you strong. We have to keep your range of motion. We need to load your tendons. So resistance training is a great way to load your tendons. Load your tendons? Load your... Bleh.